All right, let's say it. Let's pick a word on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Juxtaposition. Oh. What'd you say?
Gobstones. I don't know. I didn't know that we were...
I just wanted to say a really random word.
Okay, all right.
Because we're in our juxtaposition series. Episode 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're like me. Starting a new series, just like, it's the best. I like fade as a series is going. But like the first 1 or 2, I'm like so pumped for it. Like framing the discussion, big picture. It's like, wow, I get excited. And then
you were ready to stop with Joshua.
Yeah.
After they conquered the land, right? You're like,
I gotta get,
we don't need those last 3 episodes or whatever it was. Yeah.
The new series is good. Last week we talked about Matthew, this Jewish gospel, and how the Gentile inclusions just really stand out. We're staying with the synoptics, and I hope you're hungry, Michael, because we're talking Mark sandwiches.
Sounds good.
How interruptions interpret. We'll define some of these things, but big picture, Mark keeps interrupting himself. We're going to tell you why.
I've got a very good idea.
Yeah, Michael was very excited. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is great." So we'll look at Mark and some of these different examples of a story starting and then getting interrupted and then finished. And it fits this idea of juxtaposition. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Is this on accident and Mark loses train of thought? Are we just writing things like randomly?
Holy Spirit interruptions.
There we go. Holy Spirit interruptions. Yeah. Let's talk Mark sandwiches. Let's take it to the next level.
Let's fire up that twangy music.
From the hearts of the Low Country in South Carolina,
it's the Take 2 podcast, where we take theology to the next level.
We see Mark interrupting himself. I don't know if you've ever read through Mark. Obviously, you've got good reason for thinking this, but it's like, why did he stop this story? And then and most noticeably, I think sometimes this happens like in the Holy Week leading up to Easter. We see like the fig tree, and it's like he starts a story, but he finishes it later. Why not just like say the whole story altogether?
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to make a point.
Maybe he's trying to make a point.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe like if you're reading someone else's story,
and
you're like, oh, there's a bigger point here. And you would interrupt that story.
Give
that bigger point. And then go back to reading the rest of the story.
Yeah. It might help you understand it better, because you could just read through it and you might say, man, this feels rushed. Feels chaotic. It feels like, where's the editor on this thing? But check this out. What if the interruption is the interpretation? Like, what if that helps you understand the story more? What we're kind of putting forth in this episode is that Mark preaches theology by inserting stories inside of other stories. The middle helps give clarity to the outside stories.
Well, so it's not exactly a chiasm, but it's kind of chiastic in nature.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because you got like the beginning, end, and the middle.
Yeah.
And just like, just like we're all thinking, it's an intercalation.
Oh yeah, when you were explaining this, I was like, man, he's talking about intercalations again.
And if intercalation's not resonating with you, just think a Markan sandwich.
Okay.
Which I like it. I like that it's Markan, like Markan priority, or you know what I mean? I like that, Markan.
Yeah, we need something because we know Markan priority, got to kick that to the curb, but you don't want to get rid of the word Markan, so Markan sandwich.
But you did nail it when you said chiasm, because the structure is like that A-B-A structure, where the story begins, story resumes. That middle point is that interruption that stands out, that helps us interpret everything, and that the meaning emerges from how A and B, how they're different, but how they connect. Like, what do you take from that middle B to help us interpret the A conversation? And Mark kind of stands out. Maybe we could talk about, when we're thinking of things that make Mark unique. How does it stand out among the other Gospels?
Well, from my interpretive framework, I just had to give it from that. I'm not trying to joke around, but because you should go back and watch our Matthean and Markan priority. Famously, I'm Matthean priority.
Unbelievable.
But maybe this won't make a difference in what you think comes first. But I think Peter is kind of the apostle behind the Gospel of Mark. right?
Yes,
you,
correct.
You agree with that, right?
Yeah.
And so then if Peter, and I happen to think that Peter has the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, and he's switching back and forth of them. And given Peter's nature, he's reading this. He's like, let me give you a story to illustrate this point. Let me help interpret this story.
Yeah.
So he interrupts the story, Peter, while he's teaching the Praetorian Guard, and he gives this story, gives some details, and he goes back to it. And when you think of Mark, you do think of like there's a lot of agreement between Matthew and Luke, but then there's like these highlight color things that the others don't have there that I think is Peter interjecting in on that story and saying, all right, let me give you some more firsthand stuff. That's good. And it's known for that real fast pace.
It's like, it's short, it's fast paced. We always see like immediately, like things are moving on and on. It's from one perspective, the least explanatory, maybe outside of these little asides, like it just kind of gets the main points. A lot of times Mark is showing rather than telling. And so because of that, some of this narrative placement does some of that theological work where sometimes he doesn't over-explain something, but he arranges things. That's kind of like, maybe we're pushing that a lot, but that's what we're leaning into in this episode. And so from, what you were saying, that might not have any bearing on at least the priority, right? It's kind of what,
right. You could. Well, I guess he couldn't be reading from Matthew,
right? That part
and doing this, but maybe let's say you are a Markan priority, and you think that there's like this oral tradition that's being handed down.
Yeah,
maybe you could say Peter's reciting that and then interrupting.
And even if he wasn't, like Peter was around for like Matthew, or you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that wouldn't be like totally, I don't know. The shortest. I always fall back, like, but I guess it does make sense to, you're going to want to give like the cliff notes versus like you want to build onto something. Might not be as, I'm always thinking like, I want to add to something rather than take away.
Yeah.
But let's look at these examples. It might be too much to read some of these, but Mark 5 verses 21 through 43, we have a couple of stories here. How do we want to tackle this, Michael? Because I don't know if it's too much text. It's kind of a lot of text.
It's right on that tipping point.
I know, man.
It would be, but if we want to, I can kind of give it a speedy read.
Let's give a speedy read.
Okay, all right, we can do that. All right. So this is 5:21 through 43. When Jesus had crossed over in the boat to the other side, a large crowd gathered around him, and so he stayed by the seashore. One of the synagogue officials named Jairus came up and on seeing him fell at his feet and implored him earnestly, saying, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Please come and lay your hands on her so that she will get well and live." And he went off with him, and a large crowd was following him and pressing in on him. A woman who had had a hemorrhage for 12 years and had endured much at the hands of many physicians and had spent all that she had and was not helped at all, but rather had grown worse. After hearing about Jesus, she came up in the crowd behind him and touched his cloak. For she thought, if I touch his garments, I will get well. Immediately the flow of blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her affliction. Immediately Jesus, perceiving in himself that the power proceeding from him had gone forth, turned around in the crowd and said, "Who touched my garments?" And the disciple said to him, "You see the crowd pressing in on you, and you say, 'Who touched me?'" And he looked around to see the woman who had done this. But the woman, fearing and trembling, aware of what had happened to her, came and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed in your affliction." While he was still speaking, they came from the house of the synagogue official, saying, "Your daughter has died. Why trouble the teacher anymore?" But Jesus overheard what was being said to the synagogue official, "Do not be afraid any longer, only believe." And he allowed no one to accompany him except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. They came to the house of the synagogue official, and he saw a commotion and people loudly weeping and wailing. And entering in, he said to them, "Why make a commotion and weep? The child has not died, but is asleep." They began laughing at him, but putting them all out, he took along the child's father and the mother and his own companions and entered the room where the child was. Taking the child by the hand, he said to her, "Talitha cum," which translated means, little girl, I say to you, get up. That's a big translation there. Immediately, the girl got up and began to walk, for she was 12 years old. And immediately they were completely astounded. And he gave them strict orders that no one should know about this. And he said that something should be given to her to eat.
Yeah, and I'm glad we read it all. I think that is helpful. We see the story A.
It's like boom.
The big,
boom, and it's like no transition.
It's just in there.
Just starts a new story.
Very, very crazy. We see this first story of Jairus that bookends, and in the middle, we've got this bleeding woman. We look at Jairus, the synagogue leader, very respected. He's given a name.
Yeah.
We know a lot about him. His daughter is 12 years old. Daughter not doing well. Daughter is dying. We read this, and Jairus is earnestly saying, my daughter's at the point of death. There's urgency. Immediate action is needed. Like, she needs to be saved right this second. Yeah. So you would assume, like, okay, let's do this.
This is like, we're on pins and needles. Tell us how this plays out.
And then it's like, nope, we're like in the same story, but we have this bleeding woman. Very strange. It says she's been suffering for 12 years.
Yeah.
That Jairus' daughter is 12 years old. You can see this obvious connection. This woman's not named. It's kind of the opposite. Jairus is named and respected, just like a no-name person, socially unclean, financially doesn't have a lot of money, spend it on, physicians, this kind of thing, been suffering, kind of the opposite.
I didn't even catch the 12 years.
I never did either until
you said, I'm just sitting here thinking for the last 10 seconds, like, how did I never catch that? 12 years.
It's like in your face, but you can just I'm the same way. It's like you can just go over. And so you see, you've got this powerful guy, Jairus, powerless lady, very public versus invisible woman who's just in the lost in the crowd. This, clean versus unclean. And what Jesus does, he stops, he asks questions. It's like he's like on a different timetable.
Yeah, and the disciples almost rebuke him. I tried to it was like, you see all the people around you. You're constantly being touched, Jesus. And you're going to say, who touched you?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
The critical moment, Jesus basically says, don't fear, just believe. And you step back and you see, God's power obviously applies in all different situations, powerful, powerless, named person, one of many, clean, unclean, all of these different things, but is not limited by time. Like, Jesus can do what he wants. Things will work out. Jesus is Lord over things like death, over things like impurity. That faith is really at the center. This woman has faith. Jairus has faith. That's like very evident when others did not have faith.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When the interpretive framework was there, because I don't know I've ever read this with that interpretive framework in mind. I was like, okay, he ends basically saying, your faith healed you, go. Yeah. And then boom, you see the scene where people don't have faith.
Yeah.
And he's like, get out of here. And he turns to Jairus and he says something like, if you have faith, she'll be fine, right? Does he say something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's, exactly. I don't know exactly, but you can look for it. I think
Do not be afraid any longer. Only believe.
Only believe. Oh, that is good. And so I think that really sets the stage. We've got maybe a couple more examples here. Let's look at Mark chapter 11, and we will look at verses 12 through 25. Same thing. I can speed read this, and we'll get this on the way. So the story A is Jesus curses the fig tree. It goes, on the following day, when they came from Bethany, Jesus was hungry. And seeing in the distance a fig tree in a leaf, he went to see if he could find anything on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. And he said to it, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. And his disciples heard it. All right, story B. And they came to Jerusalem, and he entered the temple and began to drive out those who sold and those who bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. He would not allow anyone to carry anything through the temple. And he was teaching them and saying to them, is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you've made it a den of robbers? And the chief priests and the scribes heard it and were seeking a way to destroy him, for they feared him, because all the crowd was astonished at his teaching. And when evening came, they went out of the city. Then back to story A. As they passed by in the morning, they saw the fig tree had withered away to its roots. And Peter remembered and said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree that you cursed has withered. And Jesus answered them, have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore, I tell you, Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it'll be yours. And whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also who is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. All right, we got these two stories. Like, what are we doing, Mark? Why are we making these so different? So story A, the fig tree cursed. We got this tree. Looks totally healthy. There's no fruits. Jesus is looking for fruit, and so he curses it. It also seems weird.
Yeah.
Like on the surface, like it's not the season. Why are we getting upset? It seems petty. It does kind of feel out of character.
Yeah. But no fruit.
But no fruits.
No fruit.
But it's not supposed to. But it's not this. Yeah. So and then we get to temple cleansing. Religious activity is going on everywhere. Clearly, there's economic exploitation. Prayer is contrasted with den of robbers.
Right.
There's this is not great. And if you were to look at some key Old Testament text, Isaiah 56 talks about being a house of prayer for all nations. Jeremiah 7 talks about den of robbers. So he's kind of like bringing in this Old Testament imagery, what the prophets had talked about. And then we get to the second half of that fig tree being withered. The disciples notice that the tree is dead from the roots up. And so we would be wise to connect this tree with what's going on with the temple. How have I never
connected it before?
It's weird, right?
Did you study that? Was this part of your graduate work?
This was not.
Okay.
The one that started it all was we were going through the Joshua series.
Yeah.
And I got thinking about Joseph and Judah.
Yeah.
Like how
they're juxtaposed. Yeah.
And looking back, and the commentators would bring back like all the way. And I was like, oh, and those two were right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to. And then when I was doing like the race relations, like on ethnicity class, it was pointed out to me in a book, the Matthew thing, like how that's such a big deal.
So you went out and sought for other ones?
And then I sought for other ones of like, where does it do this? And then I came across this one. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That is crazy.
Because I was like, if it's those two places, it's got to be other places. Yeah.
It's like right there, like hidden in plain sight. I think Peter's saying this fig tree, like that temple, no fruit.
No fruit. It looks
no
good.
Fruit.
The temple looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything's where it should be. A lot of activity.
Right.
But that judgment's explained symbolically that fruitlessness, man, leads to judgment even for those in God's house.
Right.
Crazy. Couldn't be more clear.
That is, it's like, wow. It's just like crazy. Yeah. That's,
man.
That's great. That's good stuff.
Mark 6, get your speed read on, because I think it is helpful that if we're able to read through these. This is verse 7 through verse 30.
All right. Let me turn to the right page. Verse 7 through 30. And it says, let me just make sure. 6, yeah. And he summoned the 12 and began to send them out in pairs and gave them authority over the unclean spirits. And he instructed them that they should take nothing for their journey except a mere staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belt, but to wear sandals. And he added, do not put on 2 tunics. And he said to them, whenever you enter a house, stay there until you leave town. Any place that does not receive you or listen to you as you go out from there, shake the dust off the soles of your feet for a testimony against them. They went out and preached that the men should repent, and they were casting out many demons and were anointing with oil many sick people and healing them. And King Herod heard of it. So this would be story B.
Okay, great. Yes.
And King Herod heard of it, for his name had become well known, and the people were saying, John the Baptist has risen from the dead, and that is why these miraculous powers are at work in him. But others were saying he is Elijah, and others were saying he is a prophet, like one of the prophets of old. But when Herod heard of it, he kept saying, John, whom I beheaded, has risen. For Herod himself had sent and had John arrested and bound in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, because he had married her. For John had been saying to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. Herodias had a grudge against him and wanted to put him to death and could not do so. For Herod was afraid of John, knowing that he was a righteous and holy man. He kept him safe. And when he heard him, he was very perplexed. But he used to enjoy listening to him. A strategic day came when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his lords and military commanders and the leading men of Galilee. And when the daughter of Herodias came in and danced, she pleased Herod and his dinner guest. And the king said to the girl, "Ask me for whatever you want, and I will give it to you." And he swore to her, "Whatever you ask, I will give you up to half of my kingdom." And she went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask for?" And she said, "The head of John the Baptist." Immediately she came in a hurry to the king and asked, saying, "I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter." And although the king was very sorry, yet because of his oaths and because of the dinner guests, he was unwilling to refuse her. Immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded him to bring back his head, and he went and had him beheaded in prison, and brought the head on a platter and gave it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about this, they came and took away his body and laid it in a tomb. The apostles gathered together with Jesus, and they reported to him all that they had done and taught.
So if you're thinking this is a sandwich, the piece of bread on the other end is very short. It's
very
like,
short.
It's like that
and the
one
apostles
verse.
came back and they reported to Jesus.
So story A, the mission of the 12, we see authority is given. There's power over demons. They're preaching repentance, and we see it, and it's like pretty exciting. It's kingdom's expanding. There's momentum. Yeah. They're doing these signs and wonders. It's like, man, what can stop God? Nothing can stop God. And then right immediately after we get all this excitement, that's John the Baptist it's not good, not great. This faithful prophet speaks truth in the face of, politics executed unjustly. There's political corruption, making him a public spectacle. Brutality is like overemphasized in this in a strange way. And so you read these two things together. What are we supposed to think about? It's not that discipleship is always going to be awesome. You're going to cast out demons. You're going to be the best person in the world. It's discipleship includes danger. Being faithful does not guarantee safety. Proclamation can lead to suffering. I think it's good to hold these two so you don't run off in one. It's not all doom and gloom, material, at least not all, prosperity, but
Sometimes
these things are intention.
Sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's dungeons and beheading. It's bad. It could be good, could be bad.
It could be bad. And both of these, holding up together gives you that balance where you don't get, a one-sided view. So Mark sandwiches, that was 3 Markan sandwiches. You full?
I thought they were good. Especially that center one.
That was cool.
You sandwiched, 2 good ones, but you put the best one in the middle. So you were making a sandwich of Markan sandwiches, right?
Well, like a triple decker. Yeah, there you go. And we see, these different theological themes being promoted, like faith. God's over time. Faith is at the central, no matter what's happening. Judgment being revealed symbolically to those that don't produce fruit. And then this realistic view of discipleship. And really, when I read scripture and go through some of this biblical theology and see the connections, it is literary genius. Like, you can't craft stuff better than this.
Yeah, that's really good. It is really good.
So read things, look at their placement. You should think about why is this here, especially if you're like, man, seems like everything's going great for the disciples, then terrible. Like you see these things, just start and think about it, because I think that tells you a lot about what you are reading. Yeah. It's hard to always have that purview, but it's good to think about big picture, what's going on. Sometimes, I think it goes both ways. It's I think what we do well of in our tradition is nailing down the details.
Right.
We hang on to every word, and we should.
Yeah.
And we're parsing out, and that's good. But man, you can also
miss the forest for the trees.
Yes. Yeah. And you really can. And I found that more so true in my life. Missing, it's man, I'm seeing this big picture, and reading this, like you were saying, it's it's right there. It's right there. Yeah. So it's good to, it's good to zoom in and zoom out. Do both those things.
Yeah, it's very good.
Next, we've got a few more lined up. I don't know if we'll use all of these, but maybe we'll talk a little prophets down the road. Something else. Anything else you got on Mark or sandwiches?
Sandwiches are great.
Yeah, whoever invented the sandwich, great job.
Yeah, the Earl sandwich or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I think that's what we're told. I don't know if that's actually that's actually the thing. Yeah.
It's great.
Maybe it is.
Well, if nothing else, we can transition.
Yeah, let's do that.
To the last take.
Last take.
Man.
Yeah. So the clue that I said, like, if I forget, tell me this. Do you remember?
It was like it was something like
not very good.
Not very good. Yeah, good.
So some of our listeners will know, and I know you know, that there's a group of men at our church. We play D&D.
Oh no.
Yeah. And we just had a recent session.
Wow.
And I'm the DM, so I'm trying to put together a narrative story, and I put a lot of time into. Have you ever seen these recordings where people like sing against themselves, like they put like they do all 4 parts or something?
Oh yeah.
And man, like not that easy to do. And I put a lot of time in, so I took this song from The Hobbit, and I put different words to it. So I was thinking a long time about that.
Yeah.
And then I was like having to like put it into my song thing. So, cause you have to like be able to hear it so that you're with it. So you have to hear it.
It doesn't work if you're off.
Right. Yeah. You have to hear it and sing it, and which was a really weird thing. And this song was a little bit weird, and I put it together and not good.
Oh yeah.
Not good. I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to let anyone hear this. I may try it again. Like, cause I was telling Jonathan, like, I got some excuses. Like, my throat, I was coming off of a little bit of a sickness. And so, and I think maybe I can do my setup a little bit better. But man, I listened back to it. I was just laughing. I was like, that's
so funny. Yeah.
It's not good.
How challenging that is.
Yeah.
Man, you want to play it? Give us. No. So did you play it at the?
I did not play it for them.
Yeah.
And they're like, will we ever hear it? I'm like, not in the serious thing. Maybe we just want to laugh.
Oh, that's good, man. Those things. It's funny. You look at like some of these video stuff, and you're like, I mean, obviously it's hard work and perfection, all these things, but it just seems like it's just effortlessly put together,
Yeah, and I wonder what their setup is, because I see some people, like I was recording into my phone and listening from the computer because the computer would scroll the music for me.
Oh yeah.
And this mic is here and not at my house. It's like if I had this mic, maybe I would sing into this mic and then listen from my phone. But yeah, you have to hear the music so that you can you can have the rhythm, and the tempo and stuff be the exact same every time. So you're singing to a track, but you're only that's getting recorded. So it was a good experience. It gave me a better appreciation for those people online. Like, okay, you figured this out. Even singing in tune, like you would think, but like it's with that noise right in my ear. Yeah. Like sometimes I'd be like, why did I go flat or sharp on that note? Man. I shouldn't have. It was humbling. I'll say that.
I've often thought we should do a take two song together.
A take two song.
It'd be not good.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't
like a little
sing.
Jingle or something.
A little jingle, never know. So if you want to see that, put it in the comments. Man. Yeah. All those things. There's like so many great ideas I have of like a little skit here, a little thing there. It's just so hard to edit stuff. I mean, I don't do any of it anyway, but it's like, you just gotta it's too much work,
Yeah. I don't know if it's on this channel. Like this channel, back in the day, was my personal channel. Yeah. And I started putting some like apologetic classes up there and stuff. But it was like there was like I think you can probably see, since you have editor rights or something, but you can go back and like the very first videos, I have just a lot of personal videos that are unlisted. So I don't know if it's on this channel. Once we when I started doing like clear Christian thinking, we retitled the channel. I put together I was like, okay, I need to kind of separate my personal videos from this channel. So I did create just a different channel that is Michael Mott. So I say all that to say, I don't know where this video lives. It could be on that one. It could be on both. I don't know. But we did back when Julia was born. 2013. I put together a edited video of Chloe and Lydia called the In Sisters.
Oh, that's funny.
And because when we were visiting Jill, they would fight for who's going to push the buttons on the elevators at MUSC. And so Juju, Jill's mom, got onto him like, y'all should be, you should be the first shall be last shall be first. You should be wanting you should love each other enough to let the other. So the next time they're like, no, you go first. You go first. You go first. You first. So then we made a little skit out of that, called it the Insisters, because they were insisting that the other one goes first.
That's good. That's really good. Insist, man. So good. I had some. When you think of something, I'm just like too tired. It was such a good thing to add here.
Yeah.
It was another plug for this stupid video. Made this little skit in college that I'm gonna I don't remember what we called it. Smith 232, because that was the name of our dorm in our dorm room. Smith 232. Our roommates.
And this is from Bob Jones.
Bob Jones,
the
baby.
Bears.
Bruins.
The Bruins. No, they are Bears.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good. You know what they were called before the Bruins?
You told me this before. And
it's a good name, honestly.
I
actually like it.
Yeah, what was it?
The Swamp Angels.
Swamp Angels.
Is that crazy? I think maybe I made that up. I don't think that's what they were back in the day.
Yeah. Speaking of the Bears.
Yeah.
AKA Bruins Bears. Have you heard that the Chicago Bears are probably going to move out of Chicago into Indiana? Yeah, the Bears are going to move to Indiana likely.
It's just like tax reasons, state.
I guess,
that seems weird. They don't have space in Chicago, or like, what's the deal?
I think they're just tired of Chicago.
No, are you serious?
And Indiana's
Can Indiana be a better market than Chicago?
Well, it's like, there's like...
I know it's not far.
It's not
I guess
far.
They're just thinking they'll keep all their fans, like they won't like alien. And
I guess so. I don't know. Go check it out. I just saw a tweet about
that's
it.
That's crazy, because Bears is like one of those. I mean, I know they haven't been good for forever, but it's like so like just tradition.
Iconic,
yeah. That is crazy, man. Sports teams, man. No allegiance. It's very confusing. Like the Oklahoma City Thunder used to be the Seattle Supersonics, and it's just weird because
was there Timberwolves?
Minnesota Timberwolves. They're still around.
What is it? Minnesota
Timberwolves.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's weird when a team like moves. Like I guess Oklahoma City like has all the history of Seattle, but they're a different team, different countries. But it's like. Do you count? They made it to the. Can you be like OKC made it to the finals in 1998 or something? You know what I mean? It's like weird. Like it's totally.
Grizzlies,
and it's like Seattle.
Where did they go?
Where did the Grizzlies come from?
Yeah, where did they come from? Where did they go? Cotton Eye Joe.
There you go. Where would you say a lot of Grizzly Bears are? Like, where do you think? Like, if you just had to guess, what part of the country?
Well, up in the Washington.
Yeah, very close. Vancouver.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were Vancouver Grizzlies, and I guess Canadians didn't love it. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I mean, Seattle, Vancouver, both lost teams. They got kind of...
But they went down to Memphis.
Yeah.
Then where do they... They're not still in Memphis.
They are Memphis.
Oh, they are still in Memphis.
Yeah, surprisingly, because they don't make... Like, small market, it's hard to make money.
They're still Memphis.
They're still Memphis,
They just don't play in the FedEx Pyramid anymore.
They don't play in the Pyramid, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they left.
Yeah, they had to build the FedEx Forum.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So there is a pro sports team within driving distance of...
Yeah. And this Grizzlies get some good. They're a mess, but I don't know if you know anything about John Morant. But he's got this bad habit of like pulling out guns on his Instagram videos, and it's just not. Can you imagine the league doesn't love it?
Yeah, he's a player on the team.
Yeah, he's amazing athlete. He's like the perfect athlete in the fact that he's like 6'1" and can jump. Like it's like a short guy who can just like jump over people and dunk over people. He's been injured and not been good, and he's been suspended and stuff. So it's kind of been a bummer. But he was like their guy, and it's kind of falling apart.
Yeah. So maybe you know this. This is going a little long, but maybe you know this as a PT. You have slow twitch and fast twitch muscles. Yeah. And strength is generally associated with fast twitch muscles, lifting and stuff, right?
Well, some lifts, yes and no, where some strength takes a few seconds, like to get strength, like for a deadlift or squat, you're going to use both. But fast twitch is usually explosive, fast, which is a little bit different than strength, although they're more similar than endurance.
Yeah.
But all of us say it's a big spectrum. It's not like type 2, type 1. It's like, I mean, it's everything in between.
Yeah. So back when in my more trim days, even I was never a dunker. I just never had the explosiveness to jump.
Yeah,
that
but a strong
high.
guy.
But a strong guy, I mean, you've heard me say it. I don't know that you believe it, but a sprinter back in the day.
Yeah.
So I was always puzzled by this. Like,
that is
why?
so interesting.
Yeah.
Because this is always true. What you're saying can be true too. But 9 times out of 10, you find the guy that can jump the highest, probably the fastest. Not always true, but that's like a really good correlation. But not all the time.
Yeah. And I will say this. I was not faster than the running backs.
Oh, right. Yeah. But you're,
A-State.
yeah.
But
sure.
I was, so I guess that is a good measure, being the fastest O lineman and the best. I think I had either the best or this. I also walk on at A-State.
Yeah.
I had either the best or the second best vertical of the O lineman.
Yeah. That's impressive.
But I was
crazy.
also, some of those guys were 350.
Yeah, that's probably the
college,
limiting more so.
And I was like
really
255, 265. So I was having to get less up in the air.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of it too. It's like, it's a lot easier to jump. Like if you're producing the same amount of force, but you have less weight to push, that's also a big part of it. Yeah.
A big part of pull-ups too.
That's true.
There was one time in my life that I could do pull-ups. Is in the Navy. I was running all the time. And I weighed more then than when I was. Maybe I could have done a pull-up in football. We just didn't do them a lot at A-State. We were lifting like crazy all the time at A-State.
Yeah.
But I don't know that pull-up was in there.
It's great.
But when I was in the Navy and we were running all the time, I went into a gym and I was like, we'll just see. And I was like, I did a pull-up. I'll never not be able to do a pull-up again. And it's like, 12 months later, I was like, I can't do a pull-up anymore.
Yeah, it's so funny, like finding those. Because obviously I'm the opposite, where it's like I'll go to the fair and they'll be like, do 15 pull-ups, you win a prize. I'll be like, easy, let's do it. But I'm not very strong, but I can do a lot of pull-ups, or you know what I'm saying? So it's all, and I could always jump high and run fast, but it's all relative to body weight, where, I wasn't putting up great numbers in the weight room. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Which was crazy because, I just kind of returned to weightlifting, and like on my second or third one, I did, my peaked on my bench like 205 5 times, which is that's pretty good.
Yeah,
so I'm like 225 is right around the corner, which is like what a lot of people are like. If you can get 225, but I'm a big guy, so you would think that I have probably just more mass, more frame to do that. Yeah,
it is crazy. I've been falling off a little bit, but I've been doing a lot of speed work and like sprinting and stuff. And a couple of people I play frisbee played, or they ran track in like college. And
Zach, you're so much faster.
They haven't noticed, but I did. This is a really good compliment. Not that out frisbees a lot, but they're like, there's like 3 guys that ran track in college, and they're like, Zach, you ran track in college, right? They're like, and I was like, no, it's great. I was like, but they're like, man, they're like they're like, man, you would perfect for that. They placed me. Can you guess what distance they placed me? More of a high, not a high distance, but higher than a fast.
I would say 200.
See, that would be better. They placed me at the
400,
800.
Oh, the 800. Yeah.
And I looked up like what's like an Olympic frame, like elite level 800 meter runner, and they're like ideal is like 5'9" to 6'1", like 160 pounds. That's like you have to be that. Like that's like what you have to be to run that.
Because you're trading off what you're carrying with your muscle that you have to do it.
Yeah, it's like a mix where if you run the 100, you probably need to be like 15 pounds more of muscle. If you're gonna run like longer distance, you be a little bit thinner. But that's like the
now that I think about my answer, 800 is better.
Yeah, they're like, man, you're built for the 800.
Yeah, I knew a guy actually crazy. He was in a car accident and died recently. Oh, but your build, and he went to state in the 800. Yeah,
I was like, that's. I wish I had track to run, but soccer was good. Yeah, basketball was fine. Because we can get off this. I won't running along, but man, the best thing is just playing at a small Christian school where it's like
the best thing about banter at the end is
who cares? You can tune out.
Yeah.
I loved it because I was always faster. I was always faster and could jump higher than like anyone we played, and then this was back when University of Memphis was good. We had some friends that played like on U of M. We played pickup games, and it's like a whole different game when everyone there can like jump just as high as you, run just as fast as you, and they're like 5 inches taller, and they weigh 20 pounds more, and you're like, oh, I have no advantage.
Right.
Like other people used to be taller than me or stronger than me, but I could always get around them. But when you find those people that are bigger and faster, you're like, oh, this is like not even fair. You see a 6'3" guy jump, and you're like, oh, it's a different world. There's levels to this,
right.
Where a small Christian school is much different than the real world. So, anyway, man, fun times.
Yeah, good times.
That's our take.
Thanks for listening to Take Two. Find us wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube for those who want to watch our videocast.